The new moon in Virgo on Thursday night is in a lovely part of the sky. And although she's not visible, you'll see Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn shine at night and Venus at dawn. That's quite a planetary feast from our tiny perspective on Earth, and something this new moon wants to draw attention to. From detail to big picture, this moon is throwing it out there to get the connections right and see your place in the future. Virgo's an earth sign that expresses herself through practical service, and she's signalling a surge in interest in those areas. She rules health, plant medicine, diet and exercise, as well as the systems, research and analysis they're based on. She has the precision of a surgeon and the adaptability of a working mum. But she's also sensitive and finely tuned. In this moon phase, she's not so likely to sweep things under the carpet or ignore the signs. There's planetary support to cut beneath the surface and get to the nitty-gritty of unhealthy patterns. Virgo is the Marie Kondo of the zodiac, and this moon phase involves a declutter and reset. The new moon sits at the midpoint of the North and the South node, opposite each other in Gemini and Sagittarius. This is a tipping point, so something has to give, and it doesn't have to be painful. Really, there's a soft landing if you trust your gut and work towards simple outcomes. The big picture will open up. The cleansing, purifying energy of Virgo is given the 3-phase power treatment from planet gangbusters in Capricorn, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. These guys are making a positive impact in that there's more clarity and less attachment to hold on to an outdated point of view or stubborn tactics. Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn are amplifying where the system is broken, and Virgo's coming up with the facts, the detail, and the practical solutions. These gangbusters are also recharging a sentimental mood in Neptune, who's comfortable in hometown Pisces, opposite the Sun and the Moon. Neptune can distort reality, but in this instance, I would expect any conflict you experience to be more in the form of a smokescreen, a denial, or sweet talk. Virgo moons have the intelligence to cut the crap, but Neptune is also softening the blow of any criticism or judgment and allowing compassion and forgiveness to be part of the conversation. Even if you find yourself looking back into the past with a glint of yearning, there's a common sense call to take a new road. Saggies and Geminis born around the 14th to the 17th of the month have an important choice to make about embarking on a new direction or revising something you had to put aside, potentially back in 2011. This moon will help your decision. The pressure is lifting and the air is clearing, but there's still a communication block or restriction coming from Mercury in Libra, who has locked horns with Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. The god of messages, contracts, and communication has run out of patience with a long-standing situation and isn't looking for compromise anymore. This could involve legal matters, work or financial agreements, and the relationships binding them. It might be a case of agree to disagree or accept the terms offered so that you can make a clean break and a fresh start. There's a similar theme with Uranus in Taurus, who's in a tough aspect with Venus and intruding into expectations and priorities in relationships. Last moon, we saw Venus being stonewalled by the dirty three, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, and her love vibe was spread thin under competing demands and conflicting schedules. Now she needs her me time. Leos born around the beginning of August are especially in need of pampering and breaking the routine. Some of you could lash out with the credit card or overindulge in some way. But with Virgo in the leading role this moon, self-care can be as simple as spending time with your pet or putting fresh sheets on the bed. Frustration and division is also being egged on by another power trio in Aries: Mars, Lilith and Eris. At the full moon last month, we saw Mars flanked by these independent and forthright goddesses, intent on bringing a feminine voice to the directed focus of Mars's idea of competition and conflict. They are the awakeners, truth seekers, women who know their worth and express it as a birthright. On September the 10th, Mars turned retrograde and began the journey retracing his passage over old ground. And the Aries landscape can be wild, lonely and battle-scarred. To reflect on and integrate the influence of the feminine power embodied by Lilith and Eris. It's not until the first week of January 2021 that Mars clears the slate, so it's tricky for action or progress to get traction for the rest of the year. In the meantime, gather new tools, new strategies, and a more flexible, holistic approach to going after what you want. There are currently 7 planets retrograde right now: Mars, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Ceres, and Chiron. And they're all peeling back the layers and checking the fine print while the tide is out and the mood becomes introspective. The old way of going in hard isn't going to work anymore. So if there's a retreat and a regroup, it's okay. Virgo can bring the details together on a cosmic spreadsheet and remind you to check in with a therapist, pull out your yoga mat, or clear up a misunderstanding with a friend. Consider a delay beneficial for the big picture to slide into place, and do a checklist to organise your priorities. The full moon in 2 weeks might test your foundations, but you won't lose sight of the goal if you clear a space now. From little things, big things grow. I'm Merryl Key, and this is my mystery school. Like, follow, share, subscribe, or contact me for a consultation, www.merrylkey.com.